The Samsung Galaxy S26 and S26 Ultra, both phones feature the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 processor and offer great performance despite being incremental upgrades. The standard S26 is a highly portable 6.3-inch phone with a 50 megapixel camera, while the Ultra targets power users with a massive 6.9-inch screen, a 200 megapixel camera, and 60-watt fast charging. Specs aside, that's not the full story here. There's more to each of these devices that often goes unlooked from the tech community. We often forget not everyone upgrades year over year, so setting aside the incremental changes here, why buy either of these and which do I recommend the most? Well, for starters, the S26 improves upon the previous base models by adding a bigger 4,300 mAh battery and a higher starting storage capacity of 256 gigabytes, though it's 900 US dollars. The Ultra costs 1,300 US dollars, but also improves upon past models in a number of ways we'll get to here shortly, but the rounded corners of the newly designed aluminum build makes it slightly lighter and more comfortable to hold. Though the first thing I noticed was an awful wobble from the Ultra and a slight wobble from the regular S26. I highly recommend a case if you often use your device on a tabletop, as it's incredibly annoying, at least to me. Gotta love those camera bumps similar to the Galaxy Z Fold lineup. And while there's AI at every corner with these devices, I'll skip AI in this video, but just to note, it's mostly powered by Google Gemini, and a lot of these features are shared across other Android devices. I still applaud Samsung for Smart Switch, making it super easy to switch to your new Samsung device. I used it to swiftly set up the S26 after setting up the Ultra first. Both phones feature excellent One UI software and guarantee 7 years of OS and security updates, keeping them fully supported until 2033, which is fantastic news for long-term users. While I wasn't personally craving this feature, Samsung's much hyped privacy display, I appreciate that routines can automatically enable it when leaving your home, for example. You can fully personalize this to your preferences, but I opted for a straightforward approach, activating it automatically whenever I leave my designated home address. While excellent for government or enterprise work where privacy is crucial, using this feature at home feels very unnecessary and could easily send the wrong message to a partner. Samsung heavily pushed this as the Ultra's standout feature, but the hype mostly stems from it really being the only major upgrade this year. While it's a cool feat of expensive R&D, a $10 privacy screen protector achieves the exact same result. Also, the privacy display unfortunately compromises general viewing angles and results in an anti-reflective coating that is actually a noticeable downgrade from last year's S25 Ultra. However, if you're upgrading from an S24 Ultra or older, the screen will still look incredibly sharp, making this a non-issue for anyone off the yearly upgrade cycle. The S26 as well as the S26 Plus do not include the privacy display. This is exclusive to the Ultra. However, the S26 in my opinion is the best small form factor smartphone you can buy, of course at a steep price unless you cash in on a good trade-in deal coming from a previous small regular S model. The Samsung Galaxy S26 display reaches a peak brightness of 2600 nits, and overall it is a beautiful bright display, and the device itself is very snappy with that Snapdragon chipset, here in the US at least. The Ultra also reaches a peak brightness of 2600 nits, a very bright and capable display. Thanks to improved superior color processing and new ProScaler technology that automatically upscales lower resolution content, it gives it a noticeably sharper image than the previous S25 Ultra. While Samsung's camera hardware hasn't changed much in recent years, you won't be disappointed by the excellent photos from the S26 or the S26 Ultra. The standard S26 uses a sharp 50 megapixel lens for perfect everyday shots, while the Ultra has that massive 200 megapixel sensor for extreme detail and a wider aperture for significantly better low light photos. As always, Samsung delivered excellent cameras this year. On the Ultra, I was most excited to test out the Horizon Lock. As a creator without a steady hand, this feature is a game changer for someone like me who creates videos. Horizon Lock basically acts as a virtual gimbal, keeping the frame perfectly level even if the phone rotates or tilts during recording. It provides a professional grade stability for high action shots, ensuring the video remains smooth and the horizon stays steady regardless of shaky hands or sudden movement. Horizon Lock works perfectly up to 4K resolution at 30 FPS and 60 FPS. It is not available when using Pro Video, Portrait Video, or the front-facing camera, unfortunately. It is a feature, though, that I would absolutely use, and I really hope to see more of these type of features in other phones like the iPhone, the Pixels, etc. I just think having this is not only awesome for a lot of content creators, but from an accessibility standpoint, I think of people, for example, that maybe have Parkinson's and want to capture the best moment and a steady shot, and this really provides that opportunity to many people looking for a feature like this. Again, I applaud Samsung for adding something like this. I really like this feature. While the Ultra's 100x space zoom might feel like a niche feature to some, it remains a standout for its sheer versatility. This year, the 50 megapixel 5x telephoto lens features a wider f.29 aperture, which pulls in significantly more light for sharper, cleaner, zoomed in shots, even when the sun goes down. It's one of those capabilities you don't realize you need until you're trying to capture a distant subject and suddenly you miss having that extra reach. And don't get me wrong, while the standard S26 is great on its own, the Ultra remains the clear winner in terms of cameras. But of course, I'd be curious to know your thoughts on the S26, S26 Ultra in terms of the cameras. What are your thoughts of Samsung's cameras overall over the last few years? Let me know in the comments and let's discuss. One exclusive benefit of the Ultra is the built-in S Pen, a feature not available on the standard S26. The S Pen features an ultra-low latency of 2.8 milliseconds, making writing feel as natural as pen on paper. Samsung, though, this year decided to redesign the S Pen to match the phone's curved edges, requiring you to align it precisely when sliding it back into the slot. This is a frustrating step back, forcing a specific orientation that recalls the Galaxy Note 5 flaw where incorrect insertion could lead to damaging the phone. I love the curved edges but hate that the S Pen design suffered for it. While I spent a lot of time on the Ultra, the standard Galaxy S26 is a compelling alternative. It is arguably the best small form factor device available, retaining the essential high-end specs of the Ultra for daily use. While its $900 starting price is a significant investment, it offers a more pocket-friendly and affordable experience for those willing to trade the Ultra's massive display and top-tier battery for superior portability. You truly cannot go wrong with either device, quite honestly. The entire S26 lineup this year is stellar for those coming from a S22 series or older especially. Okay, I know many of you are looking for the definitive answer rather than the usual buy what works for you advice. If I had to choose, I would go with the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra. It's the clear winner, with strong trade-in incentives making the price jump more manageable. Despite the lack of free storage upgrades this year, I'd rather go all in if I'm already spending nearly or over $1,000. While the S26 series offers great refinements, the Samsung Galaxy S25, S24, and even the S23 remain excellent choices. In some instances, these previous generations provide specific benefits that still outperform Samsung's latest models. Samsung delivered a refined, logical upgrade path this year, prioritizing reliable improvements for everyday users over revolutionary changes for tech enthusiasts. When you're competing with Apple and Google directly, you have to dial into what works for many, not just for some. While Samsung removed some features, added a few new, and of course threw the kitchen sink of AI at us this year, you still have to admit they did a pretty good job doing it. Of course, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I look forward to that discussion, and as always, thank you for watching, take care, and stay safe.